Last night at the Calgary Underground Film Festival, I saw Under the Shadow. The movie is Iranian, though it wasn't made in Iran. It's in Farsi and it takes place in Tehran in 1988 as the Iran-Iraq War reached its peak, and is a film that I'm having a bit of trouble trying to describe. Not because I don't know what it's about, but more because I can't decide how I want to describe it, what layer of the film I want to present, because like all good horror films, its horror isn't just a creature, but is the ideas that that creature represents. On the surface level, it is a supernatural horror with a monster who terrorizes the protagonists who try desperately to figure out how to fight back. A bit of a bottle movie meets ghost story. On a deeper level, there is a private horror about the personal and cultural anxieties that the monster represents. However, just saying it that way feels like a disservice to the film. I mean, saying that horror films are built on metaphor is a pretty pedestrian observation. Saying that monsters in movies represent things that aren't literally monsters is like, okay, congratulations, you understand horror as a genre. That's what a horror movie is. So what I want to stress is the level to which understanding the metaphor of the monster is so very key to understanding the threat of the monster in this film. The xenomorphin alien is dangerous and scary because it's made of teeth and death and darkness and silence. It kills people. The sexual dimension of the film, the themes of penetration and violation, are largely subtextual. They're not something that the characters engage with much outside the context of the xenomorph. In contrast, the monster in Under the Shadow is the patriarchy. And even though it's not put in that exact word, the shadow of patriarchy looms large over the lives of the characters. It is a movie about being small in a large world, about living in the shadow of things that are so big, so out of scope with a single individual that they become almost supernatural. The main character, Shadeh, lives in the shadow of the Iranian Cultural Revolution, the shadow of the Ayatollah, the shadow of the Iran-Iraq War, the shadow of Americanization, and on a more intimate level, the shadow of depression and anxiety about her place in a large and complex world, her relationship with her mother and her daughter. An idealist and a revolutionary in her youth, Shadeh now finds herself in a world where her rights and freedoms are ever diminishing, where old superstitions have regained their strength and are exerting their power. The fact that this is a ghost story of sorts is important. It is poignant that the threat is mythology, that the thing that threatens Shadeh is a cultural artifact. The movie rides feelings of anxiety, depression, frustration, and inadequacy, and it rides them hard. Large segments of the film are basically the encapsulation of a panic attack in film form. The filmmakers make heavy use of displaced sounds to put the audience off kilter, and it works. It works really well. The final notes of the film are complicated. I've spent quite a bit of time digesting it at this point, and the ending is a bluff. It's a very sad ending wearing the skin of a kind of happy ending. This is intentional. There is a release of tension, an escape from the immediate threats, but can you ever truly escape yourself, your past, your family? Can you escape the very culture that you exist in? Can you escape myth itself?